I want to take one verse today from Luke chapter 21, verse 24. I want you to remember that last Wednesday and Thursday was Shavuot, the Feast of Weeks. But to remember what happened on the second day in 1967, and what came to be fulfilled. Yeshua said in Luke chapter 21, verse 24, that they shall fall by the edge of the sword and be led away captive into all nations. That Jerusalem would be trodden down of the Gentiles. And we saw it was in 70 AD that after Israel rebelled against the Roman Empire, that the Roman armies came down there and came and destroyed the temple. And almost 60 years later, the whole nation was gone. And what happened was that many of the Jewish people had traveled with the Roman soldiers up towards Europe and spread out all over the known world at that time. And even into more modern times into the New World, to the United States, Canada, and Latin America. And many of the armies, the Roman armies, the Crusaders, had come and had trod down the city. And finally, when I was bringing about on the second day of Shavuot, it was in 1967 that Jerusalem, for the first time in almost 2,000 years, came back into full control of the Jewish people. And this event signaled one thing, where Yeshua said, the times of the Gentiles shall be fulfilled. The times of the Gentiles, when the Gentiles would come in and receive the good news of the Messiah and be saved. And now, since that time, it's come a time where the Jewish people have come in. It started really slow. In the end of the 1960s, 1970s, and 80s, it sped up. And now every rabbi is pulling his hair that somebody in their congregation has somebody in their family who's a believer. Well, let me tell you something, Rabbi. You can fight against it all you want, but it's like sweeping the sand off the beach. The Gentile wave has come in and crashed on the beach, and now the Jewish wave is coming. Amen. What has happened is that the Jewish people are waking up now and beginning to realize. Now, you may say to me that I was sold a bill of goods. There was one day, after a long time, when I hadn't believed that I was looking. You say you may not want to read the Bible or go to a meeting or listen to the radio, but I'll tell you one thing, God will get you somebody. So he got me through an encyclopedia article where it said that Yeshua was called the Messiah, and I began to ask questions. What went wrong? Why did we believe? Well, we wanted to see prophecy our own way. But now we're waking up and realizing one thing. It wasn't that he would come and conquer and then die. He had to come first because of the sin situation and deal with sin. Amen. So let me just tell you something. You're not going to fight it, Rabbi. You're not going to fight the Jewish people or anti-missionaries or JDL or Yad Lachim or Jews for Judaism. It's the time of the Jewish people. We're waking up. We're realizing who the Messiah is. And you may be among one of the 144,000 that was prophesied to preach the gospel in the end times.